Hello, my name is Patrick Campbell, and I'm a principal with Synergy Solutions Group of Virginia. The focus of today's webinar is to demonstrate several aspects of an HRS system called Employee Navigator that we are implementing for our clients. Now, I do realize that everybody's time is valuable, so I appreciate you taking the time to learn about Employee Navigator today. I will try to make it brief but thorough as well. Now, as I stated, the purpose of this webinar is to provide a practical demonstration of Employee Navigator from three different employee perspectives. The first perspective is of a new employee that would be utilizing Employee Navigator as a new hire. The second perspective is of a current employee registering and entering Employee Navigator for the first time, while the third perspective is of an employee utilizing Employee Navigator for the open enrollment period. After these examples, I will briefly discuss the reports that Employee Navigator is able to produce to coordinate with payroll vendors or your own internal payroll process. I will then show you the system's document storage capabilities as it relates to onboarding of a new employee and other practical ways to use document storage for an employee. But let me start with a brief overview of Employee Navigator for you. Employee Navigator is a paperless, customizable, cloud-based HRIS system designed for new employees, current employees, HR directors, and owners as a site that gathers, organizes, and documents numerous HR tasks in one location. In addition to being a system that can address everyday administration and employee communication tasks, Employee Navigator was designed to address compliance. Therefore, the design of Employee Navigator placed an emphasis on compliance regulation as it relates to the employer's responsibility to the employee, as well as the employer's responsibility with healthcare reform. Now, with regards to a new employee, Employee Navigator simplifies the onboarding process for a new employee by gathering payroll information, providing the new employee with the required compliance material, while providing the ability for the new employee to review all benefit options at one location. Now, with a current employee, this system allows the current employee the means to review their enrollment sections, the ability to make any demographic changes that may have occurred throughout the year. For example, something as simply as changing of a home address due to a move. In addition, a current employee can make benefit changes to their policy due to a qualifying event, such as adding the birth of a child. Now, pertaining to the open enrollment period, Employee Navigator streamlines the open enrollment process for an employee by providing a means to review, compare, and make plan selections for the upcoming year, all online. The demand now placed upon an employer is even greater than ever before with regards to compliance. So as a result, Employee Navigator places an emphasis on the compliance needs of the employer. Employee Navigator provides to the employee the required material set forth by the rules of the Department of Labor. Employees are provided with the required ERISA documents and the material that is specific to your company, such as your employer handbook and the summary plan document. But simply having a system that distributes the material to the employees is only part of the compliance process. The other part is the documentation of receipt. So Employee Navigator is designed to provide the employee with such documentation. Moreover, Employee Navigator is able to generate reminders to employees that still need to review the required compliance material. Now, along with addressing the employee requirements to the employees, Employee Navigator is able to address employer compliance with regards to healthcare reform. Employee Navigator is designed to calculate, track, and make projections with regards to employer tax calculation for ACA classification as required by healthcare reform. So depending upon the results of this calculation, Employee Navigator will generate the required 1094 and 1095 for the employer and employee. Employee Navigator is also able to generate the required tax forms for your policy if your policy is self-insured or a level funded policy. Now, while I have mentioned several capabilities, there are more features that I did not discuss, such as Pto Tracking and the mobile capabilities for the employees. That will be discussed in much greater detail when Betsy speaks to you with regards to your company's specific rollout of Employee Navigator. Now, just as our agency provides COBRA administration or state continuation administration, the development of your company's summary plan document, and many HR support topics and matters through MyWave, we are providing Employee Navigator to our clients at no charge. Additionally, we will be building out much of the material that the employees will see. So there's no need for you to worry about building out the system or loading a lot of material and such into the system. So now let me get started with demonstrating the process that a new employee would experience when utilizing Employee Navigator to onboard as a new hire, and how Employee Navigator provides and documents receipt of compliance material. So please bear with me for a moment as I pull some information over for you to view. Okay, so now what you're seeing on the screen is an email that Employee Navigator generated based on some very basic information that I entered into the system prior to the webinar. One of the beauties of the system from an administration point of view is that very little information is needed to generate these emails, and it allows the employee to fill in as much information as possible so it is accurate. Now, the information that is needed to generate this email will be the employee's first and last name, the employee's date of birth, the employee's date of hire, the employee's social security number, because so much is tied into what their actual security number is, as well as are they full-time or are they part-time. From that, with that information, then the system can send out the email to the employee. All right. So now also with regards to this system, what you're seeing is a template email. Please keep in mind this system is customizable, so you can determine what the employee will or not see based upon the emails. All right, but as I stated, for this demonstration, I just went with a default email. So now that the employee has received the email, what they're going to do is they're going to read it and say, okay, I need to go to the registration link. So they'll click the highlighted link there. All right, pull something over. All right. So we're going to select the username. Select a password. And this is while talking about the social security number, because that's one of the cues that they have. All right, so Paul's in. Paul will be greeted by a welcome letter. Obviously able to customize, reads it, goes to the next. Now, this is a cloud-based system, therefore electronic signatures are what's going to be utilized. This is stating that electronic signature can be utilized. All right, signs it. As we stated, we didn't put a lot of the information in there. The member will be able to go in, fill out their additional information. Now this is great, so you don't have to play the wonderful game of deciphering handwriting. Is that really an 8 or is that a 6? Whatever it may be. And as some of you may have seen my handwriting, that's always a fun, wonderful game trying to actually decipher what I have written. So anytime I can type, that is a much better circumstance for all involved. All right, build it out. Now, for this demonstration, as I stated, we are going to be going through the payroll process. You do not have to utilize the payroll. If you want to simply use it for the compliance and the benefit administration, more than welcome to. We will simply turn off those features so the employee would never know that they were able to do so. All right, so in this case, I'm trying to verify, They are a U.S. citizen. How are they going to determine if they're provide documentation of being a U.S. citizen? All right, you can use passport, or if there's other different ways, just kind of going right through there. All right. What we'll do is then add it. It's already been scanned. They'll need to scan. Doesn't matter in this example. I'm just dropping anything in there from that. And this, if it was a real case, it would be a passport. They hit next. All right, we're doing payroll. We're going to fill out their W-4 information. This gentleman is married. All right, it's going to then automatically fill in what his status are. This employee also wants to put additional withholdings away. But if this employee did not know necessarily what filing status they should fill out, they are able to actually complete the form on their desktop and save it to their desktop. Sign the document. Next aspect is going to be the Virginia form. They wanted to fill this out. They had some other specials. They weren't sure once again because it's already a default setting. Next. Now we're getting to their payroll information. This is their direct deposit material. Now, if direct deposit is a capability, we would not include this. If you still want to use payroll, but on our circumstances, we're going to open it. Spam aspects have to address here. Fills it out. Right there online. I shouldn't say online. Fills it out right there on the desktop. Then is also able to save it to the desktop. Okay, I reviewed it. Next. Next, are going to be presented the Section 125 premium only portion form. This is the form that the employees must complete if they want to have their medical, dental, or vision taken out on a pre-tax basis. This is a required form for tax purposes. We're going to do the same steps we did there with the direct deposit. Obviously, we're going to want to upload that, saying yes, I have reviewed the form. Because employee may say, no, I don't want it done. They would fill out the form saying they decline and then acknowledging they were presented that. Just another compliance aspect. Now, the employee is going to be greeted with, in essence, their home page. This is a page that the employees, once they've logged in and gone through the payroll process, as a current employee, this is what they're going to be welcome to along those particular lines. Now, there's a lot of information on this page, but we all know their eye is going to take them usually in first questions, what are the benefits? But before we get into that, there's just some information you'd be able to fill out, who you want the person to contact with questions. You can add various news and articles that may be pertaining to your company or something you may find all employees to be beneficial. You're also going to see something right away concerning compliance documents. These are documents with regards to the health plans that must be presented to all employees or know where they can gather that material. So being on their homepage right away, logging in, that's also another compliance aspect that has been met. They're also going to have resources. We could add different material, websites, things along those lines in there. But as we stated, most people want to talk about the benefits. So let's see that, say, all right, based upon, I have 33 days left to complete my benefit enrollment. All right, go through, say, all right, yes, oh, put the phone number in. Everything else is accurate. I am married. The relationship. Birth. Now, the Social Security number is a required information for the spouse as well as the dependent, and that's due to IRS rules with regards to reporting for healthcare reform. That must be required. Save and continue. Now they're going to come to the benefits page. Now, in this particular situation, for time management purposes, I've only presented the medical and the dental. But please keep in mind, we can add all the benefits in which are offered to employees. We're also able to have on here for communication purposes only, not enrollment, but communication purposes only, any of the financial vehicles that you use for company retirements, such as a 401k or a 403b. From that will all be contained in here as well if you wanted to. All right, so now in this case, they're kind of looking over. Now there are a couple different ways the employees can go gather information. Now they can say, I want to know some more information about this VA bronze. I see the price, I like the price, let me find out. So they could click on this, and this would take them into a lot of specifics about that plan. Or they can say, but you know what, let me just make sure this plan is going to be for me. So the way they're able to do it right away is they're able to compare all three plans side by side to one another, what it's going to cost, what the benefit, what the network is, deductibles, what's subject to the deductible, what's not, are referrals required, things along those lines. We're going to be able to see that right away. I'm just going to go through, see that, all right, that's good. All right. Now, obviously, we're talking about an online system, but they do have the ability to print this material out should they choose to do so as well. All right. After they look, they say, yeah, I really do like this, but I want some more information on this VA bronze. Well, there's a couple different ways they can do it. Obviously, they can click on the more details aspect, but that details is also going to be laid out right here. So they can say, all right, I want to see what's this more benefit overview of the plan. Let's kind of bring it down and pull up a much more in-depth information than what was on that material from that. So they're able to see all that material. Now, they're also going to see the SBC, which is the Summary of Benefits and Coverage. This is a required document due to healthcare reform. So it's on there, and you saw it was on the home page of the employee. Able to click on that. Greek hieroglyphics. I don't know why it does that on this web browser. So let me just click it again. Pops up. So this is what they'd be able to see, and it would be documented. This material was presented to them. Also, you see watch a video. Now, as you all know, networks are a key aspect of healthcare plan design. So what we have done, people commonly ask, well, is my provider in? Who are the providers? So in this case, because we're using an Aetna-based plan as an example, we've included the video of how to find an Aetna provider by the name for this network. All right. So they'd be able to watch that video, tell them how, and they could go through the steps to find so. So the member likes this, says, all right, I want to select this plan, but what would, I forgot, what's the cost going to be with my wife on there? Ah, okay. I say, yep, We'll include her on this. Save and continue. All right. Now, just like how we went through with the medical, same particular scenario here with the dental. Obviously, the compare really isn't necessary because there's only one plan. They'll be able to look on here. What are my benefits? Pulls it over. Just that sort of situation. Now, in this particular case, though, Paul's not going to take the benefits. He's going to go with, because Allie, his wife, has coverage elsewhere. So he's going to say, you know, I don't want this benefit. I'm covered under another plan. All right. Paul's going to look at it, say, all right, let me just double check. Fantastic. Agrees to it. All right. He's able to acknowledge, sends it off. Now it's going to take him back to the home page. Now, still keep in mind, Paul is a new hire, and he still has time to make changes to his plan, so it's always going to say, give us, in essence, a countdown. So instead of saying 33 days, if it comes back tomorrow, it's going to say 32. Now, what it's also going to see, what are my required tasks? Now, an employee may go to required tasks first versus benefits. It all depends on upon that employee, but in our demonstration, we first went with the benefits. So he looks at that and says, all right, I still have 5 required tasks. I can look in. All right, there's the CEO message. Say customizable. Confidentiality agreement. You want that. If there's something else you would like in the writing, it will do so. But here, once again, they have to sign it. They go through their ERISA notices and disclosures. You want to go to next from it. All right. And exchange notices. Click on that. Pull that material up. Review the form. Now you notice when I was doing, or you may not have, on the ERISA notices, I clicked on it quickly, nothing popped up. And there's a reason for that. I'll get to that on the back end. All right, they do the sample handbook. Now, this is a good time to let you know, if you do not have your handbook or have created one, you do need to create a handbook. We at Synergy Solutions Group can assist you in the development of that handbook. You're also able to use MyWave. It's a requirement, so please utilize us as a resource. Read that, finished. All right, this one still pops up, and that's why I purposely left it. It's still telling them, wait, I still have a task I need to complete. All right, my orientation. Let me go back. Let me complete that. All right, pops it up. And next. Take them all the way back. They've already done that. And as you saw, the timestamps. Everything is all completed for the employee. Employee is able to go back to the home page. Now this is where maybe the employee, as you'll see, the taskbar has, required taskbar is now gone. Employee may want to start looking around some other things that they may have. What are some important links? That video would be linked to there. There are certain news articles we had in there. All documents. All right. This all documents can say, what did he put in there? Here are my documents concerning my enrolled plan from that situation. So they're able to see what they've put in there. Okay. Now, for this demonstration, this was presented in English. If there is a language that it needs to be presented to employees, or in this particular case, they need it in Spanish, system's able to do so, changes it into Spanish so that employee can address that. There are other languages it can be translated into as well. But so we have those capabilities. This Let's move it back to English for a demonstration. You can always contact the HR with any aspects. All right. But in this particular case, it sort of sums up how a new employee would be able to utilize the system to gather their payroll information, address compliance issues that they were presented all their material, as well as make all their enrollment benefit selections from that at one time. No paper was required. It's all done. I would receive notification if I was set up as one of the people, which I recommend, and then also the HR manager or owner of the company, or both, because you can have unlimited contacts in that situation, so they receive notice of the reporting. So that would be that matter. So we're just going to simply log out of the system at this particular time. All right. Now that would be the boarding aspect that an employee would see when, as a new employee. Now, obviously, this is a system that we want to implement to your current employees as well, because we want to prep it for being utilized during open enrollment. So, because we have a lot of the material already through our other systems, pardon me, we would be, a lot of this, as I said, is already going to be built out, and we're going to have that. So, what we would do then is put the information in, and the system then would generate an email for the new member, for a current employee to see. So let me pull this over. So just as the new employee receives an email, a current employee would see an email as well. And they would receive information. There's also a registration link. So we're going to simply click on that once again. All right. Now theirs is a little bit different to create accounts because it's the first time that they're going in this way. So let me do it. Okay. Right. Now that welcome screen is not on there because they're not a new employee, but it's simply going to say, going forward, we're going to gather all electronic signatures once again. They're approving it. You go to finish. All right. Now, what we would also do in this case is we would put in some required tasks just to make sure we capture some compliance aspects that may have been overlooked in the past from that, or new requirements. So we just want to make sure it's better to CYA during this process from this. That's where you're going to see that on there. But this kind of goes over information of what it is. All right, so kind of look through, same aspects we were talking about before, articles, compliance material, and what their benefits are. They'll see. I can't make any, we're not in open enrollment. I'm not a new hire, so I can't add anything there. What is my enrollment summary? All right. These are the plans that I'm currently enrolled on based upon, yep, that's right. All right. Here's my profile. I'm not married. Yep, that's right. Oh, the address is right. Just double check. Yep, that's accurate. Email, just kind of going through there. Okay, yep, that's all right. Okay. Go back to my home page. From that. But what are these required tasks I'm seeing? All right. Once again, with all the changes, we don't want to make the assumption that somebody has already received it. So we just want to document that. So while this may be redundant, we would put that in there once again from that. Now, if you say, absolutely, I already have documentation, people have, I know they have, we don't necessarily have to. Put that in there, go to the next, the exchange notice saying, yeah, just to make sure. Did that. Received it. And the handbook. Also, if you've made any changes to the handbook, this would be a great time to put that in there. Also, the system we can assign specific tasks to all employees throughout the year. So if 3 months into the system, you change your handbook, well, we can then generate a new email that gets assigned to all employees telling them they have to review the new handbook. All right. Well, so let's do the handbook. Once again, if you don't have one, please let us know. That is something that we can assist you with. Required. Moved on. All right. Dale looks back. Looks at things. All right. Yep, that's all good. That's all I really need to use at this moment in time. From that, also, he also reads and can use mobile devices. I bet you will go into that in more detail, but this is mobile. There are mobile apps from that situation. All right. Simply going to log out. It's going to take them. All right. Now, bear with me for another moment. I do appreciate your patience on this, because the next example I want to do is to show you the open enrollment period. But in order to do so, I have to make a few changes to the material, otherwise it would have influenced the demonstration. Take a moment. Now, just like the new employee and just like the current employee, system will generate an email letting the employee know that it's time for the open enrollment period. So in this case, we're just using it, once again, default renewal email from that situation. Now, because the employee is already logged in, from the situation is going to be a little bit different when they go to the system. But we'll put this link in there. We're going to go straight to their username and password. Now, if over time they've forgotten, they can always go reset their password and it will be sent to them what they would need to do. So let me just enter the material that I've already done before. All right. Let me try one more. Make sure I did it correctly. If not, I'll just show you a practical example of resetting your password. Yep. All right. I forgot my password. That's going to be all right. Let me just wait to the site that I'm using. Nothing like a full demonstration of the system and its capabilities. All right. So the employee would receive an email. All right, saying reset password. All right. So now that I've logged in, got the password reset, Larry's going to be greeted with his home page, and it's going to say you have 16 days left to complete your open enrollment. All right, same home page, same compliance material, just kind of going through there. All right, let me start the benefits. It's going to kind of take him through his demographic profile information just to make sure there weren't any changes throughout the year that he did not notify us. All right, this is his wife and his children. That information is accurate. Save and continue. They go through. Now, what he's going to see is some basic information right away. What are my selections? Right now for open enrollment, hasn't selected anything yet. But it's also going to show him what his current enrollment status is and how much he's paying. All right, from that. So he's going to look at it and say, all right, well, this was the plan I'm on now. That's where the new one is, but maybe I want to switch. Maybe I do want to switch. So let me look at that compare aspect again. All right. One of the things that is going to be different is that when you do the compare during open enrollment, the comparison tab is now going to have what the current benefits are that you're enrolled on or the employee is enrolled on, and then what the benefits are that are available to that employee going forward. So they're able to make a side-by-side comparison right then and there from that between all the plan options that are available to them. Go through, say, all right, what changes, what hasn't changed. So they can see it's just a more practical, faster way. Once again, they will have the benefit overviews that pertain to that particular plan year going through and all of the compliance factors. I said yes, like that plan, want to select it, save and continue. All right, currently, once again, haven't made any selections during my open enrollment period. This is my current plan selections. Yeah, I'm going to be kind of straightforward. Let me just compare just to make sure. That's what, yep. Go with. I'm going to select the plan. But what, for some reason, I thought I saved it, moved on, went to medical. All right. You're going to see here that the dental is not listed as completed as the medical was. Sort of a little checklist there. And we'll save and continue. Be able to look and say, all right, looking at everything, yes. And some of the legalese, I agree to this. It's going to take them back to the home page. Now that heading is now changed. Your open enrollment is complete. You have 16 days to make a change to your selection. So because the open enrollment period was set, the employee can make any of these changes. It hasn't been closed yet. So if he comes back in tomorrow, it's going to say 15 days. Eventually, it would be closed out for him. But he's able to go back in and say, yeah, after second thought, I really do want to cover my wife on the benefits. It's going to acknowledge that he's made changes. Just that simple. So be able to do that all the way up until the end. So this way, employees are going to be able to see a whole lot of information at one point. Now, please keep in mind, Employee Navigator is a tool. It's not a replacement. We still want to do the enrollment meetings. We still want to talk about the benefits from that. Because benefits are so very important, it just cannot be simply, you go figure it out on your own. That's the last thing, because people can assume different terminologies, all different aspects. So this is just a tool to help streamline after we've done the meeting, so there isn't all that massive collection of where's the paperwork, what's this. We're saving trees when we go about this process. So this is really going over how the system from an employee's perspective can be utilized to make things simpler. Now, I'm going to log out of the system right now because there was information that was gathered and collected, and you want to see, we're talking about the compliance, how does the payroll, or where do we have these things come into play? So let me show you some of those demonstrations. So just give me a moment while I make change here to get into my profile. Get this actually out while you just can go to our home page and just see some of the services and aspects as I just wait here. Now what you're looking at is in essence the home page for which would be for your company. This is going to be the overview that I'm able to see. The person who's signed as the administrator or administrators, the owners, however it's one who's given permission to look at the site from that basis. So this is what they're going to be able to see. You see, we'll be able to look at who are the employees. We'll be able to talk about reports. This wall aspect, it will be what notices do you want people to receive within the company once an employee makes a change. This is this ACA reporting that will go into much more detail on the individual rollout. This is the PTO aspect. Tasks, this is where we can assign different onboarding capabilities, add custom ones if you wanted simple training. Your benefits, going through what are the plan designs, who's available, document setting, documents, and then next to documents is the settings tab, different aspects along those lines. But for the purposes of what I want to talk about right now, when we're talking about the onboarding scenario of the employee, we are gathering a lot of information. So let me, where did all that information go? How will I be able to see it as an administrator from that situation? So what you're able to do is you'd be able to do that search for the employee and it'll bring you in essence to an overview page. On here, you'll be able to look at the person's profile, if there had to be some settings done with their benefits, what their current benefit summary is, just so you know, but it's the documents. The same material that you pulled up or that employee was able to put, you'd be able to pull up, okay, from that. Now, if there was additional documents that you wanted to pull up or include, but you didn't want necessarily the employee to see, you'd simply be able to go to add a note, add that information, upload it, but who do you want to share it with? You want to share with the HR people, you don't want to share with the employee, different things along those lines. Be able to store performance reviews in there. But in this case, what I said, we're just talking about the forms the employee filled out. So, system saves it for them on here. And you'll be able to see what they filled out from there. Oops. On those lines. I believe. Oops. Section 125 information. All right? Simply able to go through that particular situation. Able to pull that. So that's where that information would come from a document storage point of view. The web browser, I am utilizing an older web browser, so that's explaining the Greek hieroglyphics there. Okay. Now, with regards to reports, as I stated, depending upon how your payroll vendor does it or how you do your internal payroll, you'll be able to run reports to provide that information to that vendor in the format in which they wish to have it. All right, this system does not do the payroll, but it gathers the payroll information for you with regards to what their allowances are, what they want taken out. Also, you're able to then show what is material or what is their responsibility for their actual benefits. So I kind of went there quickly. Let me go back to this. So this system is able to generate a whole bunch of reports, and I'm going to get to the open enrollment here in just a bit. But going back to the payroll scenario, you can generate all sorts of reports from a payroll perspective. What they want, the plan, or, and these are sort of stock reports, but if you wanted to create your own custom report, you can go to a column-based report. I just want their last name, first name, what were their enrollments, what plan, when did it start, what's the plan cost, but more importantly, if you wanted to know what does it cost per pay for the employee per pay period. You think this is what you want. I'm just in this case just doing the medical because we haven't done a lot of the people. You won't see much in there, but in this case we did current employee. It's going to tell you his plan, the effective date in which the medical plan started, and what the cost is. And you say, yeah, or actually I want to add some more material after reviewing it. You can just start adding more and more to this and upon the circumstances. So you can customize as much as possible from it. Now, one of the things I stated when we first did the introduction was talking about how the system can simplify and streamline open enrollment. So the system automatically generates reports under the circumstances. So you're going to see, all right, well, I know 119 people haven't started. Who are those people? That's going to be important because the system can generate an email targeted specifically at these 119 people saying, hey, you really need to get on this. All right, who's in progress? All right, one person. All right, we can target, create an email targeted specifically for them and timestamp it. All right, we have 2 people who have completed it. That's fantastic. We know what has been done. All right, so we can go through that information. All right. We can also look at who's made changes. All right, we want to see who's made changes as of 10/1. In this case, we're just going to do all. So, based upon the circumstances, and what we did, because we did a very limited amount, nobody made any changes. Now they are, as you see this beta, they are testing various things out because they're always trying to constantly improve the system based upon the input. So if you see something, please let us know. That way we're able to give that to the vendor because they are always looking to improve. As you see, there's other reports on here just real quick. All right. We know as some of the people, this test employee hasn't done it. And we're just kind of going through here. But you can build it out as much as possible from these actual reports to get along those particular lines. Once again, just briefly mentioned tasks. This is where we can add sort of different things, turn things on, off, say, no, I don't want this, turn it off, don't want the payroll capabilities, easy enough. All right. Or if you want to add something, all right, your rights under OSHA, we want to add different ones, easily able to do so. All right, now I'm just looking at the time. I know it is very precious for you all, and I am encroaching on just going overboard and also doing a little oversaturation with this system. But we want to give you a taste of what the system is able to do, most importantly from the employees, what they'll see, what they're able to do, and how easy it is for them to utilize it. we will go much more depth on this side when we do your custom rollout and throughout the year as needs arise or when things may come about, because it's a system that is going to grow with you, and it's also going to grow based upon the needs because of what the vendor is placing into the system and what we're taking back to them from that. So with that being stated, I thank you for the time, and please reach out with any questions or concerns. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.